Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with ChicagoLand certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program, ladies and gentlemen. This is Protect and Grow ChicagoLand Retirement. And along with us, as always, as your guide through this complex financial world is ChicagoLand's certified financial planning resource, Tim Stearns, CFP. Tim, welcome back in.
Peter, thanks again for having me.
Always a pleasure, Tim. We appreciate the perspective, the guidance that you provide to Chicagoland area savers and investors on the program each and every week, and certainly during difficult times like these. I think it's needed now, maybe more than ever. Tim, a lot of people, they have questions, they have concerns. You've been here as the resource, giving us answers and direction. So thank you again.
No problem. No, I'm really enjoying trying to educate people, and it's been a little challenging having to do Zooms and that type of thing, but our college classes are still something out there. If people want to call in, we can sign them up. We aren't charging for them right now because it's part of the nonprofit that we're with. People seem to really enjoy them as far as getting knowledge, and knowledge is power. And a lot of these people want to retire, and the rug just got pulled out from them. So they're trying to figure out what the best way is.
Yeah. And Tim, those courses, Retire Right or Retire Me Right, there certainly is a wrong way to retire. And it's the way that you end up running out of money, or that you're not living a fulfilled life. You're not doing the things that you intended to and that you enjoy, and then ultimately pass away having had the ability to do those things and not being comfortable enough to do them. So it's a fine line to walk, but really that's where the plan and the planning process comes into play and is beneficial for us, and in that we are able to walk that line in living the life that we have intended for ourselves, that we've worked so hard to build for ourselves in retirement, without risking running out of money and our ability to do so during the course of retirement.
Well, Peter, it's interesting that you say that. Many savers and investors have a plan to save and invest, and some just wing it when they go into retirement. And the reason why I like the term wing it is because we have a former student of mine who's now a client who talks about that. He always asks his coworkers, "Are you winging it?" And, these people are doing that, and winging it does not work with asset allocation. Peter, you and I have talked about this asset allocation, which most people are doing, just stocks and bonds, and everything's kind of correlated. What we're seeing is that what happened in March, the downward slide, everything went down on these people.
Yep.
So you have to have some non-correlated assets, end of story, especially if you're going into retirement. It's a whole different animal. And people think, it's all about accumulation. It's really about being able to pay our bills and being able to do things like trips and that type of thing that you've always wanted to do when you were working. But if you don't have the amount of money that you thought you're going to have because the market slid down on you in March 30-something%, then that's an issue. And that's why we tell people, come on in, see us, and we'll sit down with you and do an income allocation. And if seeing us isn't a doable thing, we can do conference calls, Zoom chats, WebEx, it doesn't matter. We'll help them.
Yep. Well, on this program, we will examine the specific goals for your retirement income plan and the risk factors that it helps you address, that it helps you mitigate, reduce, or eliminate. Very important to have that retirement income plan. One of the big services that Tim Stearns and TJ Stearns Inc. provides to Chicagoland area savers and investors. If you are planning, if you are serious about your financial future, pick up the phone, give a call. It's not the only part of the complimentary service that certified financial planner Tim Stearns provides, but it is a big one in the design of that retirement income plan, the specific plan that tells you how to translate and transition that lump sum into the income that you're going to want and need to be able to depend on in retirement. And if you don't have that plan, certainly you need to address that. Even if you have had a plan in the past, it's always beneficial to review and check up on it. Maybe you can spot and identify ways to be more efficient and to leverage your dollars. 800-640-2256 is the number to call. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And there is no benefit to procrastination here, Tim. There's no downside in placing the call. You do this as a complimentary service, an extension of the education that you offer here on the program. No need to meet in person, as you stated. The conversation can start over the phone. You can carry it further with a virtual meeting, but in your path in getting a better handle on your money, your finances, improving your financial future, the first step is simply picking up the phone, giving a call, ladies and gentlemen. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, one of the big reasons why you offer this and why it is so important, we have seen the traditional methods and models fail several times over the last 20 years.
Well, basically it's an epitome of everything is fine till it's not. Ignorance is bliss. If we don't learn from the past, we're doomed to repeat it. Confirmation bias and setting yourself up for failure. I'll give you an example. There was a woman that was supposed to come in with us January 30th, and I had done all her printouts and analyzed all her stuff. And then she was coming back. She was so busy. She was coming back March 3rd. Okay. If we had met with her March 3rd, she would have had $163,000 more dollars than when I just moved her money the other day, because life got busy, and I don't understand that. I really don't, because I think besides family and everything else, what's more important than being able to keep your money that you've made and have a retirement plan and have an income plan? $163,000 is a very valuable lesson, and she's still kicking herself.
Sure.
And that's why I'm saying, like, when people have these different plans, which is just stocks and bonds, there's a lot more things out there. I'm not talking about just having to do an annuity or anything like that. There's other products that are non-correlated, that when you're in retirement, this is the type of thing that you don't have to worry about being able to pay your bills.
Well, again, if you'd like to get that plan put together, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Just one example there, Tim, of how there is no benefit to procrastination. The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of opportunity out there if you do act and seize upon it. There are strategies, there are ways to implement a plan to leverage your dollars, to be more efficient with them. You've got to identify them. You've got to act on them when you've got that opportunity. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, when we talk about the traditional model having failed many times over the past 20 years, one of the aspects of that traditional model is the dividend producing stock model. And people who say, I'm going to rely on dividends to generate income in retirement, we have seen this fail because the way a dividend works, if I understand it correctly, Tim, if I buy a stock, I am part owner of the company. And I certainly hope that the value of the company, i.e. the share price, goes up over time. But as an owner of a company, I also expect to be compensated with some of the company profits. And each year, those are the dividends. They kick out the profits to the company owners, the shareholders, as the value of the company itself, the share price, may go up or down. The problem being, Tim, the way this has failed is typically it's a double whammy. When there's economic cycles, when there's problems in the economy, not only does the value of the company, the share price, fall, but also companies may not be profitable in a year like 2008 or in a year where the coronavirus has shut down the economy. So they don't distribute the same kind of dividends. They may cut them, they may eliminate them altogether. So now not only do we not have the income to rely on, but we also don't have the capital to go out and find another option to reproduce that income that we were reliant on.
Right. And, we just got a client the other day that was counting on their oil dividend from an oil stock to pay. And, when the market goes up, it's always invest for growth and pay for retirement with good dividend producing stocks. Then when the market goes down and dividends get cut, it's always, you should keep several years of expenses in cash, which, that's earning nothing. Right. And then we have to rethink the dividend retirement income model. So how about rethinking this model before it fails the next time? I know this guy is again kicking himself because, the management that is at this company cut it, and he was planning on 4%, and it's gone. Because they're having their own sets of problems. So what if he had done something else that would be an income plan with us? Where we're not relying on that, and we're not relying on the whims of an executive at this oil company to tell him whether he's going to be able to make his bills.
And Tim, that is the goal. When you set up and you help design and implement a specific written retirement income, you're looking at all of the options out there and bringing them together, formulating that plan for how we can have reliability and consistency for that income, how to create a more dependable stream of income. Certainly one of the top goals and one of the top methods for addressing the highest concerns of retirees in retirement is how can I create a consistent, reliable, dependable income that will last.
Right. So, I mean, by the time retirement nears, chances are that savers and investors will have worked long and hard to finally reach that point in their lives. Whether they're able to live the lives they want after retirement or not, however, it depends on how well they have planned and invested for their long-term financial security. It also depends on the strategies they choose to distribute and preserve assets during retirement. So your plan and your planner play a critical role in executing the retirement process. By analyzing your needs, recommending suitable products for accumulating and distributing income, and implementing strategies to meet your objectives, an advisor can help you achieve more comfortable retirements. It's been proven that people that have a written income plan have much happier retirements.
Tim, what are some of the top ways that advisors help savers and investors and retirees meet those financial goals into and throughout retirement?
Well, just some bullet points. I mean, achieving continued growth of assets, but also preservation and protection, risk evaluation and adjustment. I'm sure that woman with the $163,000 loss realizes what kind of risk she actually had on the table back then, even after we had tried to tell her that. Generating enough income to last a lifetime, versus overspending, protecting savings while simultaneously making withdrawals from those savings. Remember, these baby boomers, you are all a bunch of net asset sellers. So, when you retire, most of you have lived since 1974 with your 401k. And now you have that pot of money, and that's it. You're not going to go back to work, hopefully, right? And you have to make it last. We also have to provide liquidity, understanding, controlling, and minimizing taxes. It appears most people in retirement react after they get the tax bill, covering healthcare expenses, and then leaving a legacy if they have enough money for heirs and beneficiaries.
And Tim, that retirement income goal really helps to, or that retirement income plan rather, helps to address and achieve each one of those goals. And we have to set our own list of priorities there, but there are many risks that we will face throughout retirement. Having the plan allows us to achieve those priorities while addressing the risks to them.
Basically, you have to have continued growth, though, when you're in retirement. You can't just put it all on the sidelines, right? So while a retiree's first thought may be to move savings into conservative investments once retirement arrives, or continuing the same aggressive investment approach that worked to build their wealth, the continued growth of assets is critically important, but must be balanced. So this is because of the always present risk of inflation. Even an inflation rate as low as 4% can cut a retiree's purchasing power by half in about 18 years.
And Tim, with $4 trillion newly added to the economy through stimulus and even more than that, truthfully, and with a pre-existing debt of what, $23 trillion, it's possible that we see some inflation here into the coming months and years.
I agree. I definitely see that happening. Someone's going to have to, with all this liquidity, you're going to have prices go up. I mean, that's just how it's going to happen. And then obviously with aiming for growth comes risk in the market. So risk of losing assets or reducing or depleting your income base. Those are things that can truly happen, and it just did to a lot of people in March. Yep. So while shooting for continued growth with some assets may be a reasonable goal, it should also be a primary goal of income producing assets to continue these retirees' ability to produce dependable income. This balance is critical to understand and to structure as part of your plan out there.
And again, that's why certified financial planner Tim Stearns will help to put that plan together with you, will help to implement that plan where appropriate to help you meet your financial goals and objectives into and throughout retirement. If you would like to take advantage of that valuable offer and opportunity, by the way, similar plans, the structure of that, the time that's put into putting those together from a certified financial planner could easily go upwards of $1,000 to several thousands of dollars. But Tim Stearns is making this offer to radio show listeners here on Protect and Grow ChicagoLand Retirement. If you are planning for your financial future, if you're serious about your plan, pick up the phone. It is a complimentary, no cost, free of charge service as an extension of this radio program. All you have to do is start with that phone call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, you have made available on this program an excellent resource, a book that really outlines the way that a specific structured written retirement income plan can help to address many of retirement's biggest risks.
Right. And that's why I want to say to the first 10 callers out there, give us a call and we'll get the book into your hands. We also have a link that we can send to people. But at the end of the day, it's called Income Allocation, written by a good friend of mine, David Gaylor. I liked it so much, I wrote the foreword to it. And it really deals with all the different things. Peter, if you don't mind, I'm just going to talk about some of the risks he talks about in the book that I think a lot of people aren't cognizant of.
Yeah, absolutely. But first, let me give that number. First 10 callers here, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Be one of the first 10 callers. Be serious about your own financial future. Have saved at least $500,000 for your retirement. If you've got those in retirement or investment assets, you qualify for this book, and the strategies discussed are appropriate for your situation. 800-640-2256. Be the first 10 callers. Tim, what are some of those risks that it helps us address?
Well, let's go through some of them. So healthcare, that's a risk, right? It's going to be expensive. People are starting to realize that.
Sure.
Inflation, we just talked about. Taxation, they understand that as well. But some of the things that I've noticed that people are not really aware of is income withdrawal rate. What's a safe rate to take out of their portfolio? It used to be the rule of 4%. That's broken. Market risk, we're cognizant of that. But here's two that I've noticed people don't really understand. Longevity risk, which is people are living longer and longer. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because if you run out, you have a 30 plus year retirement and you have a finite amount of money, your 401k is all I have when I retire. You need to be cognizant of the fact that you might run out of money if you spend too much.
Does make making sure our money lasts that much more difficult.
Absolutely. And that's why you have to make sure you have a rock solid plan to do that. The last one that I marvel that people, and I've done these Retire Me Right classes throughout the United States now, sequence of returns risk. No one knows what that is. And basically, if you retire into a bull market, well, then you'll probably be all right in retirement. It'll replenish itself because you're doing well in the market. But if we have a downturn, like we did in March of 2020, that is going to make you very nervous about sequence of returns risk, because you are pulling money that you meant to only take out, let's say 4%, but now your portfolio has gone down 30%. So you're actually taking 6-7% out of the principal. Those are the things that keep people up at night. And, once they read the book and kind of see that there's a different way to solve that problem, I think they feel better. I know that I've had people come into our conference room and tell us, I sleep better at night knowing that my money is situated the way that we planned it.
Well, again, if you would like a copy of that book, or if you would like to sit down and specifically structure that income allocation, have a written plan for how to generate retirement income, pick up the phone right now. The book available to the first 10 callers, the consultation, the strategy session, the plan design, available for anyone planning for and serious about your financial future. But give a call now, because there is no benefit for procrastinating. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, along the East Coast at this time of year, they are preparing for hurricane season, and hurricanes, I've always marveled at them because they are both predictable and yet wildly unpredictable at the same time. They generally know that, hey, one's coming, but we don't know exactly what path it's going to take, and that's why you see the maps with the spaghetti strings coming out. They also kind of begin to build well ahead of the wildest part of the storm, and they increase in intensity along the way and create additional variables and factors that are actually more risky than sort of just the storm itself, in the tornadoes that can spin off of them, in the flooding that occurs. Sometimes power outages and fires can be created. All of those things are, part of the hurricane, but their own individual specific risks as well. And then the hurricane is really neat because it's got this moment in the middle of it where it's calm and serene and peaceful, and then it picks right back up in intensity and sort of fades out. I give the story as an analogy because I feel like that's a lot like planning for retirement. We sort of begin slowly, we build up over time. There are some risks along the way. We finally reach our goal and we're calm and serene. Oh, we finally don't have to go to work. We've done it. We've retired. But there's a whole nother wall of risks on the other side, a whole nother series of risks still to come that we've got to face and we've got to be prepared to address. And a lot of people have done the hard work in addressing the risks for the first half. They've gotten to the eye and they've forgotten that whole rest of the storm is coming. That's where a lot of people end up really, really seeing damage or unfortunately losing their lives in these storms.
Well, and yeah, I agree with you, because what basically you're talking about is, many retirees fear that they'll outlive their money. That they get to the finish line, and let's say their goal was to have $1 million or $2 million, whatever, and they get there. Well, increasing longevity coupled with spiraling medical costs can jeopardize even the best planned retirement.
Yep.
So at this point in their lives, many retirees are concerned with making assets last a lifetime. A lot of times when we have people come in here, they say, I'm worried if something happens to me, what will happen to my spouse? So these are the type of things that we make sure when we're doing plans, it's for both spouses, because to make sure that, if God forbid something happens to one of them, they are going to lose some income coming into the house, and they might have to take some more from their assets, which is obviously not optimal. So why not get ahead of it and make sure you're making a plan now? And that's why I tell anybody who can call in and we'll do an income allocation plan for you, or at least advise you as to what you have. Is it good, bad, or indifferent? We'll give you a no obligation gut check to see how it looks. And if the check engine's lights on, you don't just keep running the car, right? You're going to stop. And that check engine light came on in March to me. And I think that really has brought a lot of people who want to meet with us now. Unfortunately, we're doing it virtually, but they want to know, you were right. You said something could happen. The other shoe is going to drop, is a lot of times what we hear from people. And it did. And now I'm scared. What do I do?
Yep. Well, again, many risks in retirement, but we need to be proactive in facing them. There is no benefit in procrastinating. Place that call, pick up the phone, give a call to TJ Stearns, Inc., ChicagoLand Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns, here on the program each and every week, giving warnings, giving guidance, giving advice, giving information, but not specific in nature here on the program. If you want that specific advice for how to achieve your individual goals, you got to give a call. You got to take advantage of that opportunity for the review and the strategy session, or at least begin by reading that valuable retirement planning resource guidebook, Income Allocation. First 10 callers to the program, you can receive a copy of that absolutely free. Any listener to the program today, if you would like to get that plan put together or just review and evaluate your current plan, you can get that on a complimentary, no cost, no obligation basis just by calling 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, you talked about several of the risks there: longevity, sequence of returns, and market risk, and income, creating that withdrawal, taxation, inflation. But having that plan really has the benefits of addressing those in numerous ways: generating income, protecting savings, finding that safe withdrawal rate, ensuring liquidity, and minimizing taxes. All of those and more are going to be aspects of that comprehensive retirement income plan, helping us to address many of the greatest risks in retirement.
Exactly. And that's why I think people, when they enjoy our plans, because number one, they're dynamic, which is huge, because life happens. And we've had people who, I'm going to retire in 5 years, and they get the call, a month later that they need to get out now, because they're getting reduction in force. We're seeing a lot of that, or early buyouts is a big thing we're seeing right now. If that's happening to you, your plans just change. We can change with it. And I think that's why people feel a lot better about being able to know that they have opportunities, that we can change with them and make sure that it's not lock, stock, and barrel, that you have to keep it, marching in step, because life doesn't happen that way. Nothing is static in life.
Well,
So, when the market downturned, we're able to help people with that because we made sure that their bills were still being paid, and then the market luckily has come back. Is it down? Is it going to have a W recovery that we've talked about? It could. We don't know. A V is what's happened so far, but if it's a W, it could be in for the long haul. I would tell anyone who's worried about what kind of risk they have in their portfolios after what March happened. March was a wake-up call. Give us a call and make sure that you sit down or talk to us over the phone and go through exactly what you have going on. It will only make you feel better.
Well, certainly March was some extenuating circumstances and some extreme circumstances that we have not seen before. But we have seen downturns in the market before, and we will continue to see them into the future. Black swan events, regular business market cycles, downturns in the market, though, don't need to affect your outlook for your financial future. There are ways to plan and position and account for those to address the many risks in retirement, especially the risk of the market. That is what having that written retirement income plan is all about. And Tim Stearns, a certified financial planner, willing to put that together for you and with you. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. He does also have those copies of that book, the Essential Retirement Planning Strategy Guidebook, Income Allocation, available. This is your playbook for the second half of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And I know a lot of people missing sports right now, but for a sports analogy here, when coaches put together a game plan, they don't just plan for the first half of the game. They've thought through many different scenarios. They've thought through not only what they are going to do in their own play for the first half of the game, but what they need to do coming out for the second half of the game, because that is where the game is won or lost. And you've got to have a plan for that. Get your second half playbook put together. That is what that written retirement income, what an income allocation is for you, and in helping you address the needs that you will have, the situations that you will face, the risks that you will encounter into and throughout retirement, and how to have a winning playbook to address those risks. Pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, we always appreciate your time being our resource here on Protect and Grow ChicagoLand Retirement. You always provide us with some food for thought, some information to think about and consider, and some great perspective on the direction that we need to be taking.
Well, Peter, thanks again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on here. And I feel like we're doing a good service for people because everyone we've talked to, we can help them in some way or we have a CPA on staff. We have an estate attorney, all these different things that people are just missing the boat on. They don't understand the gaping hole that they have that we can help people on. And it's just a good feeling.
Now, another very important aspect, ladies and gentlemen, you can have the best tax planner, the best legal professional, the best financial professional. If they're not coordinating efforts on your behalf, you may be missing something in your planning. You may have a gaping hole. That's why they've got the team approach there at TJ Stearns, Inc., ChicagoLand's certified financial planner, Tim Stearns, here with us each and every week as your resource. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Once again, Tim, we always appreciate your time, and I know you're looking forward to hearing from those out there in the listening audience who are serious about planning and serious about achieving their goals into their financial future throughout retirement.
Looking forward to it, Peter. Thank you.
Give Tim Stearns a call, ladies and gentlemen, 800-640-2256. Still a few copies of that book, Income Allocation, available if you'd like to start there, or the complimentary review, the in-person strategy session. No need to meet in person. You can do this virtually or over the phone. Again, just get the conversation started today. 800-640-2256. We're looking forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
Tune into ChicagoLand certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of ChicagoLand Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.